To begin, atoms, elements, and ions. All matter is made of elements. The element is the smallest unit that retains the unique chemical properties of that specific type of matter. Elements are usually abbreviated using the beginning letters of their technical name. So usually is italicized here because an example is C for carbon, H for hydrogen, He for helium. However, some do go by their Latin names. So sodium is not S. Actually, sulfur is F. Sodium is Na, and that stands for the Latin word natrium. When two or more elements join together, it forms a molecule. A compound are molecules with more than one type of element. Following the previous example of a molecule from your textbook or sodium, if we join it with chloride, we then get a compound known as sodium chloride, which we commonly call table salt. The atom is the smallest recognizable unit of an element. Atoms consist of a nucleus. The nucleus contains protons, which are positively charged particles, and neutrons, which are neutral particles. The nucleus is surrounded by electrons, which have a negative charge. In the typical atom, the charge of positively charged protons equals the number of negatively charged electrons. This balance of electrons and protons results in the atom with a neutral charge. However, under certain conditions, atoms can gain or lose electrons. When they actually have a charge, because they've either got a positive charge if they lost an electron, or if they gain an electron, they take on a negative charge. Those positive or negatively charged atoms are called ions. So like I just said, if they lose an electron, they become positively charged. If they gain an electron, they become negatively charged. We're going to use sodium and chlorine for example. When sodium chloride, which is salt, is formed, it's neutral. It has no charge. There's a balance of electrons between the two elements in making the compound. However, if the elements are separated out, if they're ionized, the sodium loses an electron and becomes sodium with a 1+ charge. That's known as a sodium ion. While chlorine will gain an electron, which makes it Cl negative, or that becomes the chloride ion. Like magnets, positives and negatives want to come together, and that's how compounds are formed. Some compounds are formed. Ions are also polar because they have charges, like a battery or a magnet. The positively charged atom is attracted to the negatively charged one. Conversely, the negative charges repel. So like a magnet, in even grade school, if they still play with magnets, if you took the two negative ends and tried to push them together, they pull apart from each other. They repel.